The Man-Made Forest by the Confused Camper. David stumbled through the dense woods, his shoes sinking into the damp earth. He couldn't remember how he'd ended up here, but he knew one thing for certain. He had been walking for weeks. Days blurred into nights as he wandered, disoriented, his stomach gnawing with hunger, his throat raw from thirst. The trees towered over him like looming giants, their twisted branches clawing at the sky. He'd thought he heard voices earlier, but when he turned to look, no one was there. The isolation was suffocating. He hadn't seen another person in what felt like forever. As he trudged onward, an eerie fog began to roll in, thick and suffocating, wrapping around his legs like tendrils. He couldn't remember where he was headed, only that he had to keep moving. He had to escape. Suddenly, the ground beneath him shifted and he collapsed. When he opened his eyes, he was in a sterile white room, the air faintly smelling of antiseptic. Panic surged as he tried to stand, but his limbs felt heavy, sluggish. A cold, metallic clink echoed as he tried to move, his wrists tugging against the restraints that held him to the bed. A figure entered the room, a nurse with a kind, almost pitying expression.
"David, you're awake,"
she said softly, her voice laced with a strange, distant compassion. He tried to speak, but his mouth felt dry. His mind raced as the words tried to form. What happened? But before he could ask, the nurse spoke again, her tone cold now.
"You've been with us for months. We thought we'd lost you there for a while."
David's heart pounded in his chest. Months? He croaked. No, it's been weeks. In the forest. The nurse's face softened, but there was no warmth in her eyes.
"You were never in a forest, David. You've been here in our care."
A cold realization seeped through him like ice water. The forest, the endless wandering, the confusion. He had never left. He wasn't lost in nature. He was trapped, isolated, inside a mental hospital, surrounded by walls he hadn't recognized. And as the fog began to roll back into his mind, he wondered if the forest had ever been real at all. Thanks for watching, and please hit the like and subscribe buttons for more stories.